You really don't like people way more than I don't like people. You've made my day.
That warms my heart. That makes sense.
That kind of moved me a little. Wow. Maybe I'm okay.
Tickets are on sale for KFC Radio Live. Click the link in the bio. Get yours. Come out and hang with the boys. We are with the legendary Lewis Black. This is a big one. This is an honor. Thank you.
Legendary.
You are, man. You are.
You know what legend means? It means, God, he's still alive. And he's doing
well,
stuff.
if for no other reason than you still being alive. I know. I do genuinely mean it, though. You had a prolific career. You've had a long one that's still going at this age. That is very commendable because I am not going as long as you, brother.
No,
You're crazy.
But you got to realize it really didn't. I'd kind of worked in theater for a long time. And then at 40, I started
That's when you
doing
blew up.
this.
Yeah. Right.
So I started doing this, stand-up at 40. So it was like...
you started? Like, I mean, I just thought that your career didn't, take off till then. You weren't even doing it?
I was doing it on the side kind of for fun, but I really was writing plays.
No way. Shit.
Because I wanted to earn as much as a crack whore. So that was a real good way to do it.
I'm sure your family loved that one. Like, I'm going to write plays. Okay, we're going to be supporting you for the rest of your life.
Well, it was funny because they're the one who... They dragged me... my father took me to see shows, and I got hooked. And but it really was... at 40, I really they were coming in to see me. I was running this space in New York with a couple other guys, and I was introducing everything we did, and we did a lot of one-act plays there, but my introductions, and I'd been doing stand-up on the side is for fun, but I wasn't really. You got to do it. You can't just do it once and then come back and do it. Once, twice a week. It's like this. You got to do it until you're fucking good at it.
Yeah.
And so I started kind of doing the intros, and then people started being more interested in my comedy than they were in my fucking plays. But then I realized there was more money to be made.
I was going to say, who cares, man? Whatever they like you because of, and if that one makes more money, fucking go with it.
Well, it was kind of like, I didn't really realize, it was partly, I just kind of was... I thought, I was going to break. I was getting closer and closer to breaking in terms of playwriting. And then but it was like you kind of go, they're so similar in a sense. Basically what it is, all stand-up is a guy writing a play for himself.
It's a one-man show, right? Yeah. I mean, I think Colin Quinn, a couple other guys out there right now are doing one-man shows. Yeah. It's your comedy, but you say one-man show and it has an air about it.
Well, when you can get into a theater.
Totally.
And
that makes a difference.
And they're not totally drunk and they're listening. And
that matters too.
Nobody's yelling, your mother sucks cocks.
Wouldn't it be great if they did, though, if there was one guy, in the theater? Your mother sucks cock.
Speaking of mothers, my mother would be, I don't know if she'd be proud or if she'd be upset to hear that I'm speaking to you, because you were persona non grata in the Feitelberg household.
Is that right?
When I was growing up. When I was not growing up, I was probably about high school, late middle school age. You and Vince McMahon wrestling were the only people I got banned from, because I was
me and Vince McMahon. I
was so angry. I was watching so much Lewis Black that I would walk around the house angry. She's like, "What if?" And it's like, "You have to stop watching this comedy." I was like, "It's almost
That is funny."
But
you weren't actually banned. But she was like, "You got to start watching some other stuff."
That is the rub, though. I read one time you described it as I'm a happy person but an angry citizen.
Yeah.
And I think that because I'm very similar in the sense I'm pessimistic. I usually skew negative. My first reaction when I hear a story or fuck that, And a lot of people, when they just see that or follow you on a social media app or whatever and have limited access to you, they're always like, lighten up, loosen up. Why don't you're always so angry. You hate everything. And I'm like, at home, I'm hanging out. I'm fine. I'm great. It's just that the way I take in news and put out my thoughts is aggressive or negative. But I'm not actually a sad or angry person.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, fuck you, you know?
Yeah, and it's the way you get it out of your system.
Yeah.
And I was on what's her name? The CBS morning show, the one that with what's her name? The best friend of Oprah,
Gail King.
Yeah, way back when they just started that show, and I was kind of like at the peak of that kind of people, you have a certain amount of celebrity, you get this much.
Yep.
And I was in the sweet spot of it, and I'm on the show with her, and I'm going off, and she's like, "Why are you so angry?" And it was like, "Are you
shut up?
Are you seriously?"
Where are you from originally?
Maryland. Places.
Because sometimes I think, I'm sure if you were like born and bred in the Midwest, and then you hear, I'm like a New York guy who's just like, shut the fuck up and fuck you. Probably is like a culture shock. But Maryland is neither. Is it one extreme or the other?
No, it's basically, we're the Mid-Atlantic states.
Yeah.
And we're mid.
Right. just mid.
And it's very weird. And then it's kind of grown up a little, but the eastern shore of Maryland, which is the Chesapeake Bay and Annapolis, and it's about an hour and a half drive from Baltimore. It used to be to me that was like, it was like everybody, they could only fit so many people in Mississippi and Alabama, and the rest went to the Eastern Shore. and so it was
you got the overflow?
Yeah, it was an odd state in that way, because you got Washington, which was kind of like fairly, different and kind of more liberal and really conservative, almost, Yahoo-ish. Yeah, so don't write in and don't talk to me. Why do you use that word? Because it was true. All right, they were, and there were some things that were going on there that you went, wow, they're nuts. And then there was this whole other part of the state, which was a mix of both. That was really rural, but not like the Eastern Shore. So it was kind of this
mix of everything. Yeah, I just to me it's like any opinion I have, any opinion worth having is one where I'm fucking, animated about it. And if I'm not that, then I'm probably just not interested in general. I'm probably just like, whatever, Well,
Washington made me angry because I'm being born and raised around around Congress people.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, it's the scummiest fucking thing in the world, and you had to live,
and it got worse. That. I mean, the thing was, at the time I was living there, was probably the peak in many ways of it being a normal place, because the guy who was like from the state of Maryland, our Republican senator, who I liked a lot, would now be considered left wing by the Republicans.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
It just spiraled so out of control.
Even my mother at the time was yelling at me for voting for this guy.
Really?
She was like, "What is the matter? He's good. He's better than the schmuck the Democrat. You fucking idiot."
They're all fucking idiots. Jesus Christ. I just don't know how the whole system works, but. Trump, I guess, posts bail, and then you can go do whatever. Yeah. So, him just being at UFC the other night. Yeah. He's front row at, MMA fights.
That was such a picture. I'm not sure if you saw it, actually. Him, Mike Tyson, Kid Rock, and Rogan.
Yeah, what a foursome, the four horsemen of the apocalypse right there. Those guys.
Wow.
It is. I guess, I just never thought of posting bail and then going to do things like that. I'm sure it's like
that's the way it works.
Rock and fucking roll.
Well, that's the reason there's that whole thing going on in New York about people who of the bail being the thing that is like separates the people who have money from the people who don't. And but then again, the people who then they now don't have to post it or post less, and then they're out committing crime. So the whole thing is fucked.
The whole system's fucked. You have now, whether you're doing it comedically, satirically, seriously, speaking about politics and culture and society, but you've been doing it for so long now. I feel like I've reached a point in my life where I'm already like, fuck it. Like nothing's changing. It's all just gonna go where it goes. And why do we even bother? I mean, I commend you for still, doing it at your age and as many years as you've put up with it. I can't imagine decades of just trying to change people's opinions or make them think. It's just,
well, I didn't really.
fuck 'em.
I never tried to change people's opinions. Mine was, I'm entertaining them.
Just get them, and get that,
and a lot
get that
of
stuff
it was
out.
the thing that hooked him was the persona.
Yeah,
Because that
yeah.
got over. I could pull a lot of shit by being psychotic on stage, so I could get away with stuff, and that was the hook. I mean, because it would be, and if they didn't like the persona, then they didn't. Then it was kind of like or they say now he swears too much, which is really just. I swear too much for two reasons. One, that's the way I talk. Two, a lot of the times I swear because I can't remember what the fuck my next bid is.
I love it.
I'm punching
And also,
people.
3, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
I hate
yeah.
that. It's like, we're all adults.
Yeah.
I want to talk the way I talk.
I remember
Shut the
when
fuck up about
I was
it.
in high school and I was like I was 18. I was a senior. And I remember getting in a fight with a referee in a hockey game where he's like, "Watch your language." I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Shut your-
Watch my language. I'm 18. I can say whatever the fuck I want. Like, this is, I think I don't even think it's a legality thing. I think I can say whatever the fuck I want when I'm 12.
My parents aren't even here. I can say whatever the fuck I want. Is fuck your favorite swear word?
Oh, it's the
It's
best.
got. I mean, it is.
It's the best.
It's just the best word. Period. It's so
and I
versatile.
sell this
so-
idiotic bobblehead, and I got a button, and the thing sells
like crazy.
like psychotic.
What does it say?
Go
button.
fuck yourself. It's like I don't even remember because it's been so long since I recorded that it was. It really is. It's just a lot of go. Fuck you. And eat shit, eat shit stuff. But what's amazing about it, and then there's the button has a whole group of different things, but that it really does. It's unbelievable to me how much it sells. That I would make
Crazy.
money, and the money. The good thing is that I was at a point. I thought if I'm going to sell this, I can't make money. This is disgusting. so I have it so that they. The money goes to charity.
Really?
Really?
I thought you were
No.
going to say that until you saw how much was coming in.
No,
you truly.
No,
you-
I mean, initially, from the very beginning, I thought, the only way I thought it was the only way I could sell it. I didn't know people would be
charity.
fucking going nuts over these things. I mean, I thought.
Oh, I'd love that.
So
Just
in
for-
retrospect, because you can't turn off the charity. In retrospect, if you could do it again, would you go charity or would you go, I'll take that?
I go charity.
You go charity, yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
You're
it's
a
kind of
fucking liar.
No, because I did okay. I got away with murder.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of the things that I did, and it's it's one of these things people say, "What's your advice for the kids?" That really makes you feel like a fucking. What's my advice for the kids is don't listen to your parents for starters. That's advice number one, because you'll end up doing something horrifying. For the rest of your life. But,
You listen to your parents, you'll end up pounding the pavement looking for a job.
Yeah.
You're looking them in the eye.
Yeah, how I mean, especially now, how could parents give you any advice now? The world changes so rapidly.
and they're
you
way
know?
behind the eight ball.
Way behind.
I mean, they don't know. I mean, I'm stuck with this fucking phone shit. I don't understand. It's like it all. I mean, it's like it's they're ahead. They're so far ahead. Look, I mean, the bottom line with this phone shit is I usually carry it in my pants. I used to in my act. I say, I'm carrying my brain around. I'm carrying my brain next to my nuts. And this thing is, there's a whole generation, and you're not even a part of it. That's coming up now.
Yeah.
This will be integrated into their system.
Oh,
so this is an
absolutely. Right in your-
extension of their brain.
Yep.
And so once they kind of get what they want in here, they'll have it'll either be empty, which is a real possibility, they'll have nothing upstairs, and this will be it, or they'll be using it for other shit that we'd never thought of.
Totally.
We've talked about, and this is a hope. It's a pipe dream, and it's not going to happen, I don't think, because there are enough kids already. But I put myself in their shoes, and I see what my parents did, and that was automatically uncool to me, because it was like, that's what my parents do. So as a generation who's only on their phone, I wonder if there's maybe a part where the kids are like, that's fucking stupid. That's lame. I don't like that. Because Kevin was kind of touching on it where, like, we've gotten so overwhelmed with it where it is like, it's like, fuck it. Who can, like, I can't keep up anymore. I'm not doing it. It's so stupid.
Too many apps, too much, it's too fast. So just throw it out the window. If there was a small group of the next generation that started that, like, we don't want phones.
There is. I think that is a TikTok thing, which is ridiculous.
But they're on TikTok, no?
But it's like they're filming kids in school who are like, they have the flip phones. Like, no, dude, I'm analog. I'm off the grid.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it would be cool to go back the other direction. I just think there's too much.
It was too much.
Too much.
And then it's like, then you start to feel like, well, I feel, you know, it makes you feel old because you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And B, I mean, you know, outside of seeing like that I can now get ball games, you know, I can watch baseball on my fucking phone. You know, outside of that, the stuff, you know, I get stuff from people. I have to get it from them. I'm not sitting there going TikTok, 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 TikTok. I mean, I've got friends who sit there.
Yeah.
And Instagram. I don't do it.
It's even.
I don't. Where do they get the fucking time? All I know is it's difficult after I get up and have the shit I have to do. I had to come down here to talk to you guys. There's an hour blasted. I could have been Instagramming you pricks.
It's not even the social media too, where and I know it's what we wanted and all that stuff at one point in our lives. But like I was telling a story the other day where I went to the doctor and I just showed up at the office. And I understand that's absurd to an extent. But I wasn't demanding to talk to the doctor. I was supposed to bring them the medication I was on just to show them. But I was supposed to call them. And I showed up at the office and they're like, what are you doing here? I was like, I don't know. I need to talk to you real quick. Like, why don't you log into the portal? I was like, I don't know how to log into the portal.
I don't want to do a fucking portal. I just want to talk.
I just want to talk. I'm here. I'm a person talking to a person. Can't you just write this down and tell somebody? And they were like, no, you're going to have to call us. I was like, what do you mean? I couldn't even get into the office because there was a security guard. And he's like, you don't have an appointment? And I was like, no. He's like, well, and then people were coming in. So I was yelling as the door was open. I'd be like, can I just talk to someone?
Then you start to really look crazy. Then you are a crazy person.
Yeah, no, they were
We were having an incident.
They were exceptionally taken aback.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm supposed to be here. Not really. But there was a task given to me. And I walk by your office every day. It makes the most sense for me to just pop in. And they're like, dude, we're going to call the cops on you. I think. A portal. I was like, I don't
know what a portal is, but
I don't really, to be honest, Louis. I don't really know what a portal is.
Thank you. So I get to feel 2 years younger.
I was driving home the other day and my phone died. And I know how to drive home. You know, I know.
Yeah.
But I always put it in just to see where's the best route, fastest route,
Waze,
traffic and all that. Yeah.
right?
But
See, I'm pretty hip.
hey, you know what you're talking about.
Waze.
I do the Google Maps, but you know, but there was this moment of like, I was like, wait a minute, do I know how to get home? Like, okay, this exit, that exit, but it's crazy. That's fucking crazy to not, you know, to rely upon it that much. Where you're like, hang on a second,
bro. The Waze. I did the Waze last night. Yesterday, I went to a hockey game in Philadelphia, and we were coming back, and the Holland Tunnel was just like crazy backed up. It was like 11 p.m. last night, but crazy backed up. And my dad was like, "Why don't you like put in a Waze?" And I was like, "No, see all that traffic over there? That's Waze.
Waze is
There's so many people using that. So now they're in traffic on a back road. Why don't we just stay here with the lights? It doesn't make any sense.
It never does. It really does. It's like, what do you have some secret that you're the only car that knows to go that way?
There's 2 roads going this direction, max.
Yeah. But then it's funny if you ever get in a cab and they go somewhere where there is traffic, like, you should have used the GPS.
Yeah. And
GPS would have told you.
And then the other thing and this is where the Google Maps thing it can get in your way is that there was a time I don't drive anymore. I quit driving like 15. I said, fuck this.
Really?
Always take a driver?
New York.
Yeah.
I lived in New York. I spent a lot of time in North Carolina. I could walk around where I was. I didn't need it. Mm-hmm. And then when I go to LA, it was like, once LA got really crazy with traffic, I was like, fuck, I am not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I am not, it's the same amount for me to get in cabs, initially Ubers, you know, or get a car I can pay for the car for 2 hours with what it's going to cost me to have a car.
Crazy.
So it was crazy, but I was driving around when I was really when those maps came out and all of that, and I'm driving, and it sent me off. I was driving down this highway in bumfuck, and it sent me off on an exit, and I came out of the exit, and then it sent me off on the next exit and sent me back to the other exit. Okay, now something's it's me or this fucking thing. It's one of us is going. I refuse to deal with.
It's so true.
Because you can run into that. I've been in Ubers now where that's what reminded me of what you were saying.
I was going to a place that was 10 minutes away. And all of a sudden, I'm 25 minutes into my trip, and I was like, "What the fuck have I done?"
Yeah.
And I was talking to my mom on the way, so I wasn't paying attention. I was like, "We've been in the car way too long. What the?"
My mom did that fairly recently. She, her and her three sisters are big fans of the theater as well, and they travel a lot. They come to the city a lot for shows. They're from Massachusetts, and my mom was driving. Two sisters fell asleep in the back. One sister is off the grid, has been her whole life. Doesn't use a phone, doesn't have anything. My mom doesn't know how to use apps. So they're driving from Massachusetts to New York. Takes about 3.5 hours. And 6 hours in, one of the sisters in the back seat woke up. And she was like, Polly, why are we in Maryland? And my mom had just got on 95, and she just can't go. If that sister didn't wake up, they'd end up in Florida. I was like, I was just driving. No one told me where to go.
That's fucking hilarious.
So the apps do have their meaning sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys drive in the city?
I started driving in during the pandemic, and
Where do you live?
Westchester,
Uh-huh.
Partly in the Bronx, partly in Westchester.
Right.
So either way, without when the pandemic was, we also resumed office work pretty quickly, more faster than other companies. So I could make it in like 24 minutes.
Right.
And it was zoom, zoom, zip in, zip out. The garage was inexpensive because they lowered their prices. And then it slowly started to return. And I'm addicted to driving in now. I can do it on my own time. I don't have to worry about the schedule, the train and the subway and all that. But it's a fucking nightmare now.
Well, I mean,
it's crazy.
It was just because when we flipped back on and then you started, I was taking the subways for a long time, and then the subways started back up, and it was like a slaughterhouse.
Yeah,
like, no, I am not.
Yeah,
You can't, or stop printing this. I'm sure that this happened every day before.
Yeah. But now it's in our face. Yeah. I can't willingly go do it. Yeah.
So so it's, to me, it's like being out there now and being in cars. I go, if I would be road. I mean, I need to drive.
Brother, I got it big time.
I bet. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would have to drive some sort of a vehicle, like a half track or something with like those, like a Humvee, but a giant Humvee, like a war Humvee. So that I could literally drive over there.
Yeah, give me a bus.
Dude, I did it last night was my first night, one of my only nights ever in the city with a car. Because I'd gone to the game with my dad. He drove down from Massachusetts, and I drove back. And we got to the Holland Tunnel. I think that we were supposed to be home at 10:50. Right? Got to the Holland Tunnel at 10:40. Like I said, there was crazy traffic. I didn't park the car until midnight. But here's the deal, Kevin and Lewis. There were a million fucking spots. But my dad didn't want the car on the street. So we had to keep driving around looking for a 24-hour garage because it was midnight.
Yeah.
And like every time I'd be like...
So you're just like driving by spots like that one, dude, and he wouldn't.
Kevin, we're driving by we're behind cars that are parking. And every time I probably 3 separate times, I like put the car, I like slowed down, and my dad wouldn't say anything. He'd just do the dad thing where he'd be like, and I just go, all right,
okay.
I was like, we'll find you a garage. And I was like, what the fuck do you think is do you think all 50,000 of these cars are gonna be gone in the morning? Like we've been driving around New York City for an hour. The streets are lined with parking
It's usually
spots.
the opposite. You love to find some street parking. It's a dream.
I can't tell you how many street parking spots I found last night.
Crazy.
Countless, and he never verbalized it,
but
it was
just the grunt.
All right. I was like, that was my time. I was like, I'll never get a car. I'll never fucking get a car here.
And they have that fucking bike lane, and it's like, that's where I think I'm gonna die.
The cyclists, they're going fucking 40 miles an hour, and they almost like want.
They're not cyclists anymore. They're not cyclists. You have motors on it. You're a fucking motorcycle. Get in there.
Get in the street. Get in the fucking street. And they
really
want to like buzz you. They want to like piss you off and see how close they can get and yell at you.
And then they're coming. And then it's like, all right, we got the lane. If you're going to have the lane, then the prick that's driving the other way on 9th, the opposite way, you have arrest him.
Yeah, right. If you're gonna make it formal.
Because that's about half the time.
I say arrest them and fucking kill him. Sentenced to death.
That's a bridge too far.
I tell you, I am just loving sitting here bitching about.
Yeah, this is great. This is it.
Well, I wonder how guys who drive, because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
Yo, it's not healthy. I mean, I'm like, it's a fight. You know, you can't just like drive. You know, it's like a sport almost. Where you have to be on your toes, head on a swivel, hit the lane, hit the hole. And the people who are just kind of like la-di-da, I'm like, get the fuck off the road.
And actually, the reason, one of the main reasons I quit driving was I got into a car. They picked me up at the airport for some bullshit I didn't get, yet another project. It didn't happen, and I get in the car, and I realize within 5 minutes, I'm screaming out the window at cars. And I'm thinking...
In the back seat?
In the back seat. And I thought, wow, I really can't. I can't drive out here. I'm not driving.
Out the back window. Fuck you.
I mean, if I was a driver and saw it, is that a dog? Is that Lewis Black?
Lewis Black just told me to fuck off.
And I used to, because they're all driving around there, and it's like, it's 11:30. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. There's work. People have work. There can't be this many people who don't have work.
I don't get it.
Okay?
It's all hours.
It's all hours. And I literally would sit when I was with friends, and we would be driving along. I'd yell, "Where are you really supposed to be? Why are you driving? Why are you driving?"
I remember when I was a kid, and it's only gotten worse with age. But I was a kid, I was the same way, where I would like be in the supermarket with my mom, who was an adult. I'd be like, why the fuck are there adults here right now? I thought the world was a ghost town between 9 and 5.
Well, but it's like when you're
in the office. What are you doing here?
It's like if you're at a bar in the middle of the afternoon and you're like, look at all these degenerates at the bar in the afternoon, and then you're sitting at the bar yourself. Like, well, wait a minute, hang on now. Maybe I'm one of them too. So you got a new special coming out. Tragically,
I Need You.
Tragically, I Need You. Very poetic, very gripping.
Yeah,
title. Sounds like you must have been a playmate or something like that.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Yeah. What is without giving it away? What is the
I'll give
the inspiration?
It's out April 18th.
Yeah, it's on May 2nd actually.
So that's weird. So on our rider,
yeah, don't worry about it.
It says
April
out 4/18 must air 5/2, and I was like, that's a weird number. Why would you air it 2 weeks after? But it makes more sense that it's out then.
Well, it's not out.
Yeah, so May 2nd.
I don't know what they.
Who knows?
Yeah. They fuck with I have no idea how they did that, but or why they did that. But it's good that they just fuck. I'm glad to hear I have people who I'm paying to fuck up the people I'm talking to.
I'm gonna double check just so people don't get in trouble. But said, can you check my phone?
Yeah, look at that. It says Tragically I Need You, which premieres globally 4/18. Are you out in different countries already? On 4/18?
Maybe in
that's
Uzbekistan.
The Ukrainians are going to be going nuts for
now I'm going to get on the phone afterwards and go, what the fuck? Where am I?
Okay, but so May 2nd.
May 2nd here on YouTube.
Got it.
And that, and really quite simply, it is about the way I reacted to the pandemic. That it was just the way it's literally about how I dealt with the pandemic. And I started, when I left, when I kind of finally went back on the road, I was like, okay, well, I got to do a new act. And I started talking. I would talk about things of what I dealt with. Mm-hmm. And people started, I didn't expect them to, I didn't know what they would do, but they really, they related to it really well. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know what, fuck this. So literally, it's the fastest I've ever written a special of any kind. Because all I did was tell the story. I mean, I try in all of my goddamn fucking shit to tell a story. Just to tell a story. So this was actually a real kind of beginning, middle, and end of
right.
And the one the special I did before it was on the night that it closed down. That it was the last performances that were given in the country. It was the night that I did the special came out of that night,
Oh,
and we
shit.
just by luck. I film everything I do because I'm psychotic, and then we also ended up with extra cameras, so we had enough that it's kind of like a very it's not like a major special, but it's interesting because so the audience isn't totally mic'd, and we don't come up and everybody goes,
right.
so it's just really kind of intimate. It's intimate, and. But it's about it's literally it's so part of it it's called no, I can't remember the name of it it's basically about the fact that we're closing down, and so there was a chunk of stuff, so it bookends this kind of this one, but this one really was, here's what happened. I've spent 10 weeks in solitary confinement because the initial announcement was, it's one thing if you're your age, but even with that, even your age, it didn't matter. Initially, that first wave of shit that hit the fan, I knew somebody immediately who died. Mm-hmm. They basically said that I had an underlying condition and I would die. Right. So it's like, oh, well, great. That's a great morning announcement. You get to school and 12 of you are going to die today. So I'm one of them. So I did 10 weeks. I'm by myself.
Jeez.
Really?
That was truly like solo, nobody. Nothing.
Nobody. And I lost. You don't do that.
No.
There's a reason it's a punishment.
Yeah, I mean that at that age is not at any age, but that's fucking crazy.
It was crazy, and I was crazy, and you get really crazy.
Yeah.
You start to get fucking nuts, and you start as we all have, and even now it's been a little tough to get back, but you start to lose your memory because you're not. The way in which your memory works in part, you wake up, something happens during the day, and you talk to your friends. Sure. And so you go, oh, yeah, you won't believe this, you won't believe this, you won't believe this. By the fourth friend, you go, fuck it, I'm not telling that asshole. But as a result, the next time you see the asshole 2 weeks later, you remember it because you said it. I'm saying it to nobody. I'm on the phone, how you doing? I'm not dead. That's
all I got.
Nothing happened today. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. How are you doing? The worst question asked during the pandemic. How you doing?
How the fuck do you think?
Yeah, really. Oh, it's spectacular. I couldn't be happier. And I'm lucky. I got a terrace. And I'm walking around on the terrace, and I go, this is what a prisoner feels like.
Yeah, get your yard time.
Yeah, exactly. I would walk a mile a day on my terrace.
Really?
Wow,
yeah.
Shit.
Well, because otherwise, and then the people say, listen to a podcast. I said, no, I can't hear it with the shit that's going on in my head. I said, all I got to do is I got to listen to somebody else's troubles.
So it's like, tragically you learned you do need all these assholes around you.
Yeah.
Because, up until then, I probably would have been like, I wish I could just get rid of all these fucking people and sit in my room alone. And then you get that, and it's like, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. That was it, And the other one was called Thanks for Risking Your Life. That was because I walked out in front of these people, and it was literally 2 days. I mean, it was a day. They had already announced, don't be in crowds. They thought they were going to shut down the casino I was in. And there's 1,500 people wandering around, and I'm like a mile from them, watching them, like through a telescope. And I come on stage, and it's packed. The room is packed.
Yeah, they're loving it.
And I go, and all I thought was, you people are insane.
That's great.
Have you kept up with, I suppose, or maybe are you knowledge about the AI stuff that's coming out? I'm thinking about.
Oh, you mean that artificial intelligence?
Yeah,
really great.
Well, I saw a headline today that made that
you gonna get it for your father for Christmas.
Can you turn my phone real quick? I saw a headline today that gave me pause, and I didn't even think about the fact that you were coming in today, and I was like, oh, I feel like this is
what
right up his alley.
Yeah, it is.
What is now?
I know who retweeted the tweet, so I can find it pretty easily.
I mean, talk about just an all-time just society ruiner right here, artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Start regularly recording your parents, elders, and loved ones. With enough transcript data, new voice synthesis, and video models, there is a 100% chance that they will live with you forever after leaving their physical body. This should even be possible at the end of the year.
So they can have like a library of their words and create like a thing to talk to.
Yeah.
There is like, if I told my mom
shit.
that, my mom might kill herself before I ever. She's like, she's like, I want to. Like, I'm not even gonna tell you don't record me. I want to make sure you don't have the chance.
Yo.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself right
That's
now.
amazing because my mother, I couldn't get my mother. My mother's really was. Everybody wanted me to record my mother because she just had a mouth and was really,
Yeah.
you know, and no editing equipment. And but she would never let me record anything she did. I mean, I can't fucking.
That's
you know,
crazy.
I mean, and talk about, that's like a very weird version of Psycho.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
keeping
Yeah.
your grandmother in
Keeping
the
you
attic.
forever, mother.
Your
Yeah.
mother in the attic. That's just, I can't imagine that.
Imagine that, like you're on a date with someone and you're like, I'm gonna take you home to meet my mom. Your mom died 10 years ago.
Some
You're
fucking-
like, what the fuck? Dude? Like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is
That's
Wow,
shit.
that's
That's sick.
nuts. That's real. And then, but it makes sense because there's some jackass in a room somewhere who's probably in their mid-20s going, boy, here's an idea.
Yep.
The thing with that artificial intelligence is like, it's first off, think about who's doing it. I mean, you really don't like people way more than I don't like people. Really, you've made my day.
That warms my heart. That makes sense.
That kind of moved me a little. Wow, maybe I'm okay.
Fuck 'em.
Watching you blow up about just, I could kill him. Really was good. I was like, wow, I've kind of been calm. But the whole thing with that AI is that they just kind of dump it on us.
Yeah.
And,
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
I guess something happens where they just technologically it's possible, and they just go, it's floodgates.
Yeah.
You know, here you go.
But it's also we are not bright.
No,
So
we're a
what
dumb
makes
people.
us think that people who aren't, this group of people that aren't bright are going to make something that's more intelligent than we are?
Yeah.
What fucking, are you nuts? You're not. Okay? And they're
No
already
fucking
finding glitches.
Yeah.
And you know they are, and they're going, yeah, well, we'll work those out. Of course you will.
That's
Sure, pal.
I was thinking that recently, but there was a post about, it was just like someone put an AI create the NFL football team's mascots. And they were all the same as that mascot. And people were mind blown by them. They're like, the AI's taking over, man. And Kevin, we were talking about it.
Yeah, this is it. It's over, dude. Society's over because it could make NFL mascots. What are we fucking talking about?
That
here?
suck, by the way.
Yeah, they weren't even good. I mean, yeah, listen, talk to me when they can, launch missiles. Then we're in trouble. If they can make a picture of the Pope, forgive me if I'm not fucking.
You believe he
scared
was
yet.
actually in that jacket? Like, yeah. I don't know. You showed me a picture of a guy in a jacket. I thought it was real. How crazy of me to think that.
It's really we created the computer, and which was once again, like the phone, an extension of our nervous system, and nobody thought anything about maybe we should think about what
The
this
implications.
means. The
Yeah.
implications, and we didn't, and out of that came, it started with MySpace, and then on to Facebook, and then Facebook. And you've got all of these that you don't, and no rules on Facebook. So these are like Facebook, TikTok, all of those. There were no rules applied apparently. And then we're getting to this, and you go, wow. And then I read I thought you were going to talk about the article. I read an article the week after they started announcing this shit. Then there was a whole slew of people who said, maybe we should put some brakes on. Well, now, really?
The horse out of the fucking barn, you
you
morons.
fucking idiots.
That would have been a good idea.
It would have. I mean, it's horrifying.
Yeah, it's weird. It's some weird shit.
It is weird, but also I do love when people are like, dude, haven't you seen the Terminator? It's like, well, first of all, no. But second of all, movies? Yes, I've seen movies.
Yeah.
I understand bad
I've also seen
things.
Armageddon. I don't think the asteroid's going to fucking hit the planet.
Bro, haven't you seen this movie where a bad person did a bad thing? Like,
Yeah, no fucking
I
kidding.
have. I've seen it. I don't apply it to every aspect of my life, though.
Yeah. And then, but it is that thing you said that you add that together with the fact that they can now replicate anybody. and put them on a screen so that you don't know if it's real or not, so that you.
For all we know, you're not even real.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, that would be. I'd have to get paid heavily to be this. If I actually had to show up as me, I would fucking have my avatar come in.
You're for lack of a better word, and I could probably think of a better one, but I'm not going to because this came to my mind first, and I like it. You're fuck dolls.
Yeah.
Get yourself a Lewis Black fuck doll.
She's got fingers pointing like this. You can do whatever you want with the fingers, but they're just pointing out.
That's in a sense the first version of AI. Lewis Black will live with you forever. Lewis Black's fuck doll will be around for eternity.
Yeah, they want more
for charity.
Exactly. They did initially have their arms moved.
Did they?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck
this.
this. When you started the Daily Show, that was like the early stages.
1946.
It was the
very
beginning of the show.
beginning.
Yeah. Okay. So and that, I mean, Jon Stewart and you guys
97,
were
I think it
was
was.
97. Yeah.
And we started at a studio without an audience.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
It wasn't Jon Stewart. It was Craig Kilborn.
Right.
Yeah.
How long did he do it for?
Long enough to give me a headache. Wow. I mean, he was whatever. He didn't know the jokes.
Really?
I'm sitting there going, really? I didn't get the gig? He did not. The whole idea was just to have some sort of a kind of, that vanilla-y, kind of guy who, looked like the people on
Supposed
on
to look
news
like
and
the
stuff.
anchor, yeah.
Well, God in heaven.
Oh, I guess he did that.
You just didn't,
Well, they replaced him with, Jon Stewart.
And
was
Jon Stewart,
fucking,
yeah.
He's still out here doing it to this day.
Yeah,
Just
but then again, to give you an idea of me, I was like, I'm on the show, okay? Could you just do a fake audition? Just pretend that to pretend that, give me a shot at it. Mm-hmm. You're going to pick Jon Stewart. But, I've already been on the show a while. Couldn't you just pretend to do that? I mean, both times. And then when John left, it was like, let me sit in the seat. You don't even have to be, you're not going to hire me. Just put a camera in front of me.
Oh, it should have been you. That's... That would have been much
show.
A little bit different for sure. That is for fucking sure.
I think by the end of, especially at that point in my life, the set would have been destroyed within a year. What? I'd throw the chair. But I mean, John did it. I mean, John's job. He did a hell of a job. I mean, he really managed it. It's so kind of a micromanager, and that can be a pain in the ass, but he was really brilliant at it.
Yeah, I mean, you were able to just come in, though, and just fucking drop bombs and then, cut out.
Yeah, it was a pretty good gig.
Yeah, I would say so.
It still is a good gig.
Yeah,
and being involved with something like that, do you ever, not an out-of-body experience, but do you ever, separate yourself and realize, change the world is dramatic, but, for my generation, for me at least, it changed the way I consumed news.
Totally. I mean, The Daily Show, what you guys did with The Daily Show is absolutely, inflection point of society or something where it left an impact for sure.
I'd never seen something like that where it was like, oh, I didn't even know you could make fun of those people. I didn't know you could point out the stupid shit they say. And again, maybe maybe it was happening before then, but that I was at the age where that's where I started realizing.
Well, exactly. Well, Carlin did it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Lenny Bruce did it. Mort Saul did it. There was a whole bunch of guys. This guy, Mark Russell. This comic that a lot of people don't know would sit at a piano in Washington D.C. and sing these really funny songs about these idiots, and then and then do the commentary. So it was always kind of present in the air. There's a magazine called The Realist, which you should look up because it's really that was my Daily Show. It was like, holy fuck. And I was so glad my parents didn't find this. It was worse in a way than that if I had Playboy under my bed. It was, he had a thing. He had a guy who did a portrait of all of the Disney characters, right? But doing the filthiest things you could imagine. But it looks like when you're looking at, I've got it at home. I got it in color. I got because you could get it.
Had it blown up.
I had to leave it. I did it after I got out of my parents' house because they couldn't handle it. But it was just this spectacular array. Like Mickey Mouse is shooting up, and Goofy's getting a blowjob from Daisy Duck. I mean, it's like bizarre. And Dumbo's flying and shitting on everybody. But when you're looking at it initially, you go, "Oh, fuck!" And so that kind of stuff. And I do think that it had an effect. And I think it not only did that, I think it also, I didn't realize that it had the effect you said. It also had that effect of being able to step away from all the bullshit that went on all day and go, "Oh, this is ridiculous.
Right.
Right? These people are idiots."
Yeah, well, no, I think that's also, it made me realize that everyone's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that. You see someone on TV, you see someone in a suit in front of a podium giving a speech, well, they have to be smart.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, wait, they're actually the dumbest motherfuckers out here.
Yeah. I mean,
and you guys exposed that, you know?
Even with I obviously know the Carlins and Lenny Bruce's and things like that, but like you guys had the proof. Whereas like they were talking on stage.
Here's the video.
Like, maybe they actually said that. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Because like, here it is. Look how fucking dumb this is.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
And it's why in my act, I actually, if I've got something that I think is really crazy, I have it. I cut it out of the paper and I stand there and go,
Here it is.
Yeah.
And so
That's
shut
great.
the fuck up. I'm not going to listen to you whining about this.
Well, I think whether it was intentional or unintentional, you opened the door for, I guess, people like myself to just be like, shut the fuck up and fuck you. And I think the world needed that. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe we've gone too far with that now. I don't know. But at that point in time, we needed it.
I think it's great amongst us.
Yeah.
When it bled into these politicians, no, you don't get to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
right.
you don't.
Yeah. We're the dummies. You have to have decorum.
You have to have decorum. Yeah. We're allowed to do this, so kiss my dick.
Amen, brother. Yeah. All right. So the special is out. May 2nd.
May 2nd, and I will be on. I'm going to host the Daily Show for 2 days.
Oh, cool.
Maybe 4.
There you go.
Wow, you lucky duck.
Well, don't go crazy.
Why would they do that? You know,
it could be down to 8 minutes. But they're letting all of the. Those of us who work, there's the correspondents,
cool,
sit in the chair. So Roy Wood did it this week.
Oh, great.
So now, and I, of course, went nuts because when they started doing the guest host, I was going, you have to start with us.
Yeah.
Okay? Those people should be on a line, you fucking idiot. It just really enrages me. Just show some courtesy.
Again, it's not hard, you know?
It isn't
really
hard.
Not hard.
It's just a little. Or lie.
Right.
Make up some bullshit why you can't use this. Please, how tough is it?
You're the best, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
When is the Daily Show?
The Daily Show, maybe June 19th.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'll call you. Yeah. You seem to get the messages before I do. This was really fun, guys.
Great,
Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed the hell out of it.
Awesome.
We'd love to have you back.
This is your gig. I started looking at the stuff.
Yeah.
And this is fucking sick. Listen, what I was doing required some work.
Oh, no, this is nothing, bro. You actually had to know what you're talking about and put in some effort. This is literally press the mic and yell fuck a bunch of times.
Every guest we've ever had was smarter than us, so it's fantastic.
Literally the door is forever open if you want to pop in.
I'd love to have you.
We say that kind of stuff all the time, and I do mean it. Doors open, but if truly you ever want to promote something or get something off your chest or work out material, whatever, have this couch and this mic whenever you want.
The fact that you can, there's these guys that I talked to forever in Kansas City or actually it's Omaha, Nebraska. It's Todd and Tyler.
Yeah,
and they're really. They were terrific. They're the best of that kind of duo, and so it's great to be on with them, and because it's like fun to be. I just felt like
just hanging out,
shit,
yeah. Anytime you want, brother.
Well, thanks.
Please.
Free water.
We spare no expense.
Anything for the legendary.
And then the liquor. You guys are just wild.
All right, big thanks for watching. If you made it through this whole episode, that means you should be subscribed. There's so many of you out there who watch and don't subscribe, so make sure you are a KFC Radio subscriber. Make sure you get all the content when it drops. Click that button now.
I have 9 fingers. I'm still subscribed. It's that easy.